Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner podcast. Lou, how are you?
Doing very well.
You know something?
There's an owl in the studio. But...
You look good. Yeah, we have a lot of hair in the studio today. Let me tell you.
God, yeah.
God bless you, man.
Thank you very much.
That's nice.
Thanks.
That's nice.
You're pretty good too.
Well, it's a different color,
Could
but
you
it's
get your
still...
stylist to do Mikey's hair
I
like that?
could.
'Cause I'd
She's
like
good.
I had sideburns. I grew them. I have some pictures.
No, I need the big wave and the big.
You just had to let it grow out a little bit more, but you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it this way because it's windproof. You know what I mean? I can walk. The wind doesn't mix.
It's rated
Like yours, you go in the wind, it's going to go
forget
all
it.
over.
It's rated
You know how
for
much
22
hair's-
miles an hour.
I'm 22 miles an hour.
22.
It's,
No,
it's a wonderful.
I keep Aquanet in business. No.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure. Believe me when I tell you. We've had Rick on with us before, and this is Rick Anthony,
Buongiorno.
Elvis Tribute Artist.
Yes.
And I refer to that, and I mean it sincerely. You have his mannerisms, his movements. The only thing is you don't have a black belt.
Not yet. Working on it.
Get out of town.
I've been trying to get in
Shut
touch with
the
Larry.
door.
I've been trying to get in touch with Larry Giordano
Oh, God.
to help me out here.
Larry, he's the guy.
Larry, call me.
He's right around the corner.
I keep forgetting that he's got the martial arts background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's great. That's great. A lot of Elvis's movies and performances, he used a lot of martial arts movement
Yeah, sure.
to a certain degree. Is that one of the reasons why you want to take up?
Well, for me doing what I do, it's almost like is there an owl in the building? No, I'm just kidding. It's almost
It's
like
going to drive Louis crazy. Louis, take the owl out for a walk.
so what I do, being a tribute artist, you try to do it as authentic as possible. As it's almost like if you were an actor and you were is it Larry? He's calling me.
It's actually Donald.
Oh. So I was just saying that it's almost like being an actor, studying for a character for a role and doing it due diligence, because there's been a lot of parody about Elvis as a person or as an entertainer and whatnot, and not you don't see someone who's like true to the authenticity as to who the man was as an entertainer. You don't, and people will either overdo the lip thing or they'll, it's so
You try to keep it real.
Okay, let me
I
ask
do.
this question. 'Cause
Sure.
You're young. You're past Elvis, right? You were born past Elvis.
Oh yeah, 10 years after.
What
Yeah.
triggered all this for you?
Yeah, well, actually, funny story. Thanks for asking, Lou.
It's my job.
So, I went to school, grammar school.
Now,
Right
you
around-
grew up in Lawrence.
I did. I went to grammar school right around the corner, St. Monica's School,
Okay.
Methuen. And in 8th grade, there was a lip sync contest at the school. The requirements were you had to be somebody from the 1950s, the 1960s, or the 1970s.
Okay.
So I said, all right, I'm in 8th grade. I'm
I'm a
graduating.
little insulted all that's lumped together, but yeah.
It's all good, but those were the requirements.
So how old are you? 13?
Yeah, back then, no,
13,
14.
14?
So, so I said, all right, I'm in 8th grade. I want to leave this school. I want to put my name out there. How do I win this thing? First of all,
Yep.
Who's the biggest entertainer that I could think of at the time? And for all 3 of those decades, Elvis was the
Was
guy.
up there.
And this was before the age of, really all the computers and stuff like that. So when I looked in the books, Elvis. So you didn't have to go Googling.
Right.
It was old school knowledge there, and who didn't like Elvis at the time?
No.
But again, I didn't grow up in a house where Elvis was played 24/7. I didn't, other than, Christmas time, listen to the Elvis Christmas album, which is a great album. Fantastic.
Amen.
But you can't get the whole Elvis experience from listening to the music. You
No.
gotta watch movies, you gotta watch videos.
Right. So it's just so funny. So, when you look back at it, 8th grade, my 1st grade teacher, her husband had an Elvis costume. I don't know why. I'm
Okay.
thinking it's a Halloween costume.
Okay.
It was.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, but it was cool, and she was gracious enough to let me borrow it. So I borrowed it. And at the time, too, I had really short hair. But I was involved in a dinner theater up in Amesbury.
Even then,
Yes.
Stage one.
When I was 7. No, but it's similar.
Yeah.
It's affiliated.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Amesbury Playhouse.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. So at the theater, they had all these collection of wigs. So I got a really terrible wig. Really terrible. It was like god awful. God awful. Anyway, I won first place doing it, and it was just lip sync. And then that same summer, I saw my first Elvis Tribute Artist at Canopy Lake Park, Matt Lewis from Las Vegas.
oh, I know, man.
Yeah, great guy, amazing guy. I owe him everything as far as
Nice man.
as entertainment. He is an
Elvis
entertainer.
tribute at Canopy Lake Park.
Yeah.
That's as Merrimack
Almost
Valley
every
as it
year,
gets right here.
Almost every year.
Yeah.
Almost every year there's somebody there.
No, but what a great place to see an Elvis tribute artist.
I know.
But the thing was I had never seen Elvis, right? So
Yeah.
this was like and he did a fantastic job. He's direct from Las Vegas. He wasn't putting on a caricature. He was
He
emulating.
did his homework.
He was emulating Elvis. And for me, when I was watching him and watching his reaction with the crowd and the ladies coming up to him, wanting kisses, wanting scarves, the Elvis thing. I got goosebumps because I felt like I was really watching Elvis.
Yep.
He made that illusion come to life. Fast forward my years in the theater, it took it to a level where it was like, I really would love to do my own thing. I can sing, I can act, I dance, whatever. Why not really kind of dive into it? So I did, and
Makes sense.
the rest you can find online.
Wow. So
Worked out big time.
did you get a cape?
I do have a cape. So
No. Did you have a cape when you were 14 performing?
yes, but
You did the
but-
wig, the cape.
yeah, but the cape didn't come with the original costume that I rented.
You just
from
patched it together.
Yeah, my mom kind of.
Do you
Found
do
some family.
I'm sure you do the Vegas white jumpsuit Elvis.
sure do.
But you got to do the black leather Elvis.
I
'cause
sure
You're
do.
the black leather Elvis guy.
So this is interesting. So all my costumes, as far as the authenticity,
They don't come from Eastern clothing, okay?
No,
I'll bet.
no. Oh, I get all my costumes from a company in Indiana that made Elvis's costumes.
Oh wow.
Did they really?
Yeah, they have the officially licensed print patterns and
Nice.
everything like that. So it's authentic, it's legit. It says, and I tell people, like, when I do a lot of senior citizen homes and whatnot, I ask them, because that's their music, that's their generation. No offense, Mike.
This is the big one, Alice.
Everything aside, what was that show with the black leather? The
that
TV?
was the 1968.
Comeback.
Well, they call it the Comeback. He never went anywhere, but it was the Singer Soul Machine company.
Okay.
The Singer Special is what it was advertised as.
All the Elvis aside, that was musical genius. That was iconic music icon. That was such a great performance.
That's exactly right.
That's-
Iconic.
Yeah.
And then that's why it became known as the Comeback. Because, for all these years when Elvis got back from the army, he was doing the movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, and he got lost in that Hollywood image of him.
And a lot of the movies he didn't really care for too much.
Amen. Amen. And, you could tell, that his heart wasn't into it.
I just want you to look at this. When we went to see Elvis at Boston Garden,
Yeah.
He sang 24 songs, and this is the list that he sang.
This is.
Can you see that?
Sure. November 10th. Yep.
Yeah. What a show! Oh my gosh, so exciting. We saw him 4 times at the International in Vegas, and every time was better than the time before.
I envy that.
And that's
really
the
cool.
24 songs.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you, so I took
That's
a picture of
That's
it.
amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
There's a great resource. We're getting off track here, but there's a great resource online that's like an Elvis concert database. It's really interesting.
Really.
You can select different options as to, what date a particular show was.
Okay.
It'll come up with maybe pictures of the show, a set list of that show, what jumpsuit he was wearing that day, what suits the band was wearing that day. It's really
really
fascinating.
That's neat.
Anyway, going back to that comeback special thing, Lou, that you were asking, it became known as the comeback because Elvis was lost in that image of the Hollywood thing, and his reputation, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what it was. So,
again, all the Elvis stuff aside, musically, that was brilliant.
It was
absolute brilliance.
It was in the fact that brought Elvis out to be cool again.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it also got him from out behind his character and got him back to being a musician.
He hadn't performed live on stage in, I don't know, a long time.
He had he had like an edge, and he always played like a tough guy type of. People really didn't get to see him, what he was really like. And I think the movie that turned that around was Blue Hawaii.
I love Blue
in
Hawaii.
1961.
I love that.
That to me showed his true personality, his comical side, that he cared about people. And Angela Lansbury, who I think was a fantastic actress her whole life.
Yeah,
that was his mother.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just thought that.
And she was younger than him, and she played his mother. Did you know that?
No.
She was younger than him.
Are you serious?
I swear. Yeah.
I'm glad I got up this morning.
Yeah, he had to battle his whole career between the character of Elvis and Elvis, who he was. And some of the best moments are the ones like that movie, I think, where it was Elvis. It wasn't the character Elvis, it was Elvis.
Yeah.
Made a big difference because it showed him in a whole different light to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
to the world.
Nobody loved him more than I did. I tried to imitate, lip sync, sing over. I mean, have that tape recorder go and be playing one of his songs, and I'd be up there.
Listen, if I ever get sick, I'm gonna call you. You can come in, fill in for me.
But you had a bodyguard. Can I have a bodyguard?
Yeah, I'll call Billy.
Bill DeRazio, everybody. He's on this show quite a bit with us. On your not on your Facebook, but on your website. You quoted.
By the way, Bill's here in comments. I didn't know it was you, Bill.
He is?
Yeah.
Hi, Bill.
There he is,
I
right
see
here.
Mom, too. Hi, Mom. He's having a good hair day. Yeah.
He's giving Ricky all kinds of
accolades.
Because I have
accolades. Yeah, but I didn't recognize the sign-in. So.
I didn't either. Yeah. I didn't either. But you mentioned that Tony Orlando. You got a quote from him.
I did.
Did you work with him? How'd you meet Tony?
I didn't. It was at Topsfield Fair.
Okay.
Topsfield
Fair. Yeah,
because
he would go there. Yeah.
Oh man, what a guy! What a guy!
I agree with
you.
Oh
My God, I loved him. One of the best entertainers I've ever seen too.
I had an opportunity to meet him after a show.
Yeah.
And it was at Mohegan Sun. And the head of the tribal council, Louis, at that time was Chief Maynard Stewart.
Okay.
And he has since gone. But that guy had the worst wig of anybody I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't take
name.
I'd be having dinner with him. I couldn't help but look at his head. But what a nice man. What a nice man.
Yeah.
He used to call me up whenever they had anybody at Mohegan that he thought would be of interest to me, booking for the St. Alfio Society, the Feast of the Three Saints. He'd say, hey, Mike, I got B.J. Thomas, and, he'd be a good fit. And, I got Tony Orlando. So I went to one of the shows with my wife. And after the show, he took me backstage. And I go, and I'm sitting there. And the guy really he was soaking wet.
Oh, yeah.
So he went in to change his clothes. Well, his wife is sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
So his wife and her mother, his mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Now, the mother-in-law didn't speak English, just Italian.
Oh.
His wife, if she stood 5 foot tall, that was it. But she was a pistol. She looks at me and she says, are you here to see my husband? I said, as a matter of fact, I am. So she says, she said, you live in the area? So I started telling her the story. I said, the reason I'm here is we have a big Sicilian feast in the city of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And I think your husband would be a perfect fit. She says, oh, it's a Sicilian feast. Ma, we got to go to it, this, that, and the other thing. And they're talking in Italian back and forth. So all of a sudden, Tony comes out. Changes clothes. And she stood up, and she must have come up to here. And she says, Tony, this is Mike. Mike is going to book you. You're going to be doing a Sicilian show in September in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I mean, she was like a little dictator.
She booked him, yeah.
She just automatically. And we really worked. The two of us worked so hard. But at that time, he was doing the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Okay.
And our shows were on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when he needed to be in New York City.
Oh, because I was going to say, I don't remember ever hearing.
No, he wasn't. No, I couldn't close the deal. I wanted him, and I wanted Patty Page. Yeah. And I couldn't close with her either because of her husband. But never have your husband be a manager.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was a hard
personality conflict, Mike.
Oh, this guy was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm paying full boat. Yeah. I'm giving her what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
I got Al Martino and Patty Page. Are you serious?
Yeah.
What a show.
Yeah.
What a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
My wife does not open up for Al Martino. Al Martino opens up for Patty.
Yeah, that's
me.
The ego.
Finally, I had enough. I says, you know something? And they were living here in the summertime. She had a farm right up here.
Oh.
And you would open up, they had syrup. You'd open up the syrup can and it would sing a song of Patty. I mean, what a delight she was. But anyway, long story short,
yeah, no.
You know something? We were talking early before we went on the air about Jesse, and that was Elvis's brother, who was born 30 minutes before Elvis, but he was stillborn. Imagine if we would have had two Elvises.
This is new to me. I didn't know any of this.
Oh, you didn't know he had a twin?
I didn't know he had a twin. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. And there's a movie Elvis did. Do you remember this? Kissing Cousins.
Yeah, of course I do.
It was like Elvis and himself as his twin, pretty much. But he had the blonde hair.
You're right. Yeah. That's Elvis was the blonde originally.
And it's interesting. But anyway, so I just did an invitation only contest in Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin, in September.
You went to Wisconsin?
I did. And I met and became really good friends with a beautiful lady, Elvis's co-star in the film, Cynthia Pepper.
I know the name.
Yeah. Beautiful lady, wonderful lady. Her and my mom have frequent phone calls together.
Oh,
fantastic.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people saying hi to you. Barbara Cody, my significant other, is saying hello to everybody.
Hello.
And, Bill Durazio, your bodyguard.
Yeah.
I can see Bill. Was he packing?
I don't know. I don't know if that was an egg roll in his. I don't know. No.
Oh, he can eat. He can eat. Andy
Parisi.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Good stuff. The getting back to Elvis, I mean, how much research to you capture him? I mean, just your movements. And let me say this to you, for my high school 60th high school reunion for Lawrence High, we had you come in, and boy, I'll tell you, I got more compliments and emails about your performance. People loved it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, and you
wait, sorry. Thank you very much.
No, do it again. Do it again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
There you go. A little bit deeper.
Yeah.
But it's shows like that you really stood out. I said to you, you can do anything you want. Just keep it real. And That's exactly what I said. And boy, you did. People didn't want to. The doors were open, Lou, in the hallway, and the guests of the hotel, and we're at the DoubleTree. They were all standing out in the hallway watching his show.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Which was
get that a lot.
Which was pretty cool.
Thank you for having me.
We had a good time.
That was fantastic, and I really appreciate it.
Think we should do another one for the 65th?
Let me know.
Because everybody's driving me nuts.
I'll do it. I did. I got a couple of gigs out of that.
I know you did. I know
yeah,
you
that
did.
was great.
And that's what we're here for.
For Franny. Thank you, Fran.
Yeah.
I love that lady and their husband, Peter. I did their wedding.
Tony Orlando's wife, her first name was Francine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Francine.
Oh, Tony.
Amarino. Okay. Her maiden name, Amarino.
Wow.
Yeah.
But her mother, well, very short. I mean, I don't think Francine was 5 foot. Well, her mother, I think, was even shorter than that. You know?
Yeah.
Reminded me of my grandma. So we've got the jumpsuits you get from the same company that Elvis got theirs.
Well, yeah, yes,
more or less.
It's indirect. Yeah.
I want to ask you, something. We're very close
Where
to
are
a break.
Elvis's suits, by the way?
I'm sorry?
Where are Elvis's suits? Are they at Graceland, or
They
does somebody
are.
hold them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at Graceland. They actually built. So the last time I was at Graceland was 2014, and while I was there was this huge project that was in development right across from the mansion. Right across from the mansion, as it was, they had like this separate building. It was like you've been there, Mike, right?
I was actually on the radio.
You were
I
at
got
Elvis Radio?
interviewed. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that.
The guy comes out of his booth, very small. Well, when I was there, very small. And it was about the same time. And he's walking around with the microphone. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
Oh, yeah. Do you know who it was?
No, I don't.
Was it George Klein? Maybe, I don't know. That's Elvis's.
I know.
Anyway.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't. I would have remembered that.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, he did an interview with us.
That's great.
It was shot, but what do you think of Elvis?
Yeah.
I mean, in Graceland, we've been to like 4 times, and it's deep.
It is. Yeah. So across the street from the house, like I was saying, there's like a building that has the cars.
Yes.
At the time,
the plane they just sold.
The planes.
I think they sold Lisa's plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. But and then but it was kind of like a little bit not run down, but you could see
I know
the age.
It was 50ish.
You could see the age in the building. So what they did was they had this whole new development come in where they knocked down the buildings. They put this brand new expansion, huge complex, and before they would have like maybe a handful, maybe a dozen of Elvis's jumpsuits on display inside a wing of the mansion. But now they say all of them are on display in the new complex, and it's impressive. It's like a bookshelf with all these suits on top of each other, and it's really impressive. I haven't been there yet, but I've seen pictures.
Well, it's there for you.
Yeah.
You go to Wisconsin, you can fly to Memphis.
Oh yeah, well I'm going to Vegas in May, so see that.
You got a gig?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Get out of town.
Well, it's not particularly.
Who's managing you?
Myself.
Oh, that's hard. You need somebody who's got the gift of gab.
Yeah. What are you doing? Call me after, will you?
You could do worse. You could do a lot worse.
It's true. This is true. Hey, listen, I'm up against the break. Hang with me.
Yeah.
And I know you got a lot going on this afternoon, and you got going to Marlboro, and you got a gig coming up, and you got rehearsal. You got all kinds of good stuff going on.
So we do.
Louis, andiamo, figlio.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-277-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back with Rick Anthony, Elvis personified. You know what I mean? And you got the look, kid. You got the look. I see I see your mother's up here. She says, hello, you're having a good hair day. So she wrote that. And then she said, she addressed it to me. She says, Mike, we need him for the Italian feast. I'd love that. I'd love that. You would own that crowd on a Friday night or a Saturday night in particular. Boy, I'll tell you.
The whole band.
Do you have a band?
A big band.
Oh, I like the way you say it. Can I hear that again? Give me a big band.
A big band.
A big band. Yeah.
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 So the band.
How many pieces?
Total? 14.
Wow. Doesn't that price you out of a lot of markets?
That's a lot of free meals.
They know, hey, you want the best. You got,
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, it's a big
band, but you want a good Elvis show? Do you want a show or do you want a rinky dink?
Fair enough.
Now, I mentioned that you do private shows, like you did our 60th high school reunion. Maybe you'll do our 65th if we're still here. Our class is getting smaller.
I was going to say all three of you.
Going to hold it in the telephone booth. I mean, God almighty. But you'd be surprised how many people write to me constantly from all over the country. Are we doing another reunion? Are we doing?
Sure.
I mean, there'll be walkers and wheelchairs and
that's my crowd.
I'm in glory, right? I'm in glory. Colonel Parker.
Yeah.
Okay. Played an important role with Elvis. I mean, he found him. Elvis was opening a drugstore, and he was out there performing. He's in a back bed of a truck.
Yes.
And and the Colonel spotted him and saw raw talent.
Did he have any promotion experience before Elvis?
Yeah,
he did.
He had Hank Snow. He had a few people.
Eddie Arnold.
Yeah. Eddie Arnold was big. Hank Snow was big. Matter of fact, Elvis actually, when he started performing for him, he was on like second banana to Hank Snow, who was big at the time.
Yeah, I remember Hank.
Who was big at the time. But Colonel Parker, I mean, he took Elvis under his wing, and I mean, I think he loved him like a son, really. But everybody has demons, and he had one big one, and that was gambling. I mean, his reputation throughout Vegas was he was just crazy.
Yeah.
And some of the deals that he did for Elvis were not in Elvis's favor.
No.
Which was sad. You hated to see that. But, you know, like I said, Elvis looked up to him, and he just whatever he tried to do the best he could for Elvis Presley. Like, he wouldn't let him go on American Bandstand. Now, American Bandstand was in its day huge throughout. Dick Clark, Alan Freed. Alan Freed screwed himself royally with the payola type deals that were going on, and that killed him. But with American Bandstand, the Colonel wouldn't let him appear on the show because he said to Dick, and Dick loved him. Dick loved Elvis. He had a lot of respect for him.
I always wondered why he wasn't on there.
The reason why? This is the logic. He says, if I'm going to put Elvis on your show and people can watch him free, why will they pay to go watch him in a movie?
Right, or exactly.
And that was the mindset, which was good. He did. I have to say one thing about Dick Clark. He did turn around and have 3 radio interviews with Elvis while he was in Germany, because he served this country. He did what he had to do. He could have got out of it so many different ways, and he didn't. But he did 3 interviews on the phone, and Dick aired those just to promote, especially the last one they did when he was coming home. It was so well received. It was unbelievable, just to tell people. And Elvis was making movies, and GI Blues at the time was just ready to come out during that last interview. But he owes a lot to Dick Clark, really, and just loved him, just absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that Elvis died as early as he did. I mean, supposedly you have good friends, and when they were seeing him go astray, I mean, somebody should have really stomped on him. But you know something,
who was capable of that?
Could have, would have, should have, right?
Yeah.
Who was capable of that, even his stature at the time?
Yeah.
Elvis probably wasn't taking any dictation from anybody.
Well, that's it too. I mean, how do you stop a grown man from doing things that he wants to do? And it's
I mean, even
the king.
Even Colonel Parker had to see what was happening. I mean, the weight gain.
How could you not?
You could. It's impossible. I mean, you say, hey, listen, I love you like a son. You're killing yourself here, brother.
There was one time where Colonel Parker did intervene with something that is on record, but, it wasn't for Elvis's well-being. It was more for Colonel's, because there was a point where something happened to Elvis before the show. He was like really out of it. And,
really?
Oh yeah. And he looked up and he said, no matter what happens, this boy goes on stage tonight in a couple hours. Whatever you got to do, do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but hey, everybody's got their demons, I guess.
But to be fair to you, I know everybody says your tribute to Elvis is unbelievable, but you also sing. I mean, Roy Orbison, you nail, and that's not easy.
That's
not easy.
No.
Yeah.
I got a show tomorrow. Matter of fact, Gloucester, for the Elks Club, and
So you're taking off now. You're going to Marlborough, and then you're coming back, and you're doing a show tomorrow in Gloucester.
Yes. Yeah, that's the life of what we do, right? But that's the way to get out there. But tomorrow's show is interesting because the Gloucester Elks Association, they reached out last year and they wanted to do a show for Elvis. So I did an Elvis show. It went over very well. This year they wanted to do something different. So it's going to be interesting. So it's going to be, the first part is going to be Johnny Cash. Second part's going to be Roy Orbison.
Oh, wow.
My mother was a huge Roy Orbison fan. And
Me
we
too.
were fortunate enough to see him, I think, about 4 times in the last 6 months of his life.
Wow.
Including the Hampton Beach Casino.
I was going to ask, yeah.
And we were sitting in the back at the bar in the back and could hear him on stage. I mean, I could hear him.
Yeah, it's his
voice.
voice
Was so strong, even late in his life.
Yeah, we saw him in Nantasket.
Yeah.
And I had just got my license. And Nantasket was like driving to another world. You know what I mean? And anyway, the Merc took us there. And he was coming on stage. And I can remember he had 2 state police officers in front of him and 2 behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just walked out there. So he went to hit the high note.
Sure.
And he missed it.
Oh.
He missed it. Stopped the show.
So let's do it again.
Well, that's right. Exactly. That's exactly what he did. And he killed it.
Yeah.
Saw him in Chelsea in a place there where they had overbooked that room. They had more people in that room, twice as many people as the fire department would allow, I would imagine.
Oh my God.
All I was thinking of is there's a fire, we're all going to die.
In Chelsea.
Yeah. And he was about 90 minutes late to the show. Walked in with 2 state troopers and the whole 9 yards. But
yeah.
And he paid it off.
Louis, what was the tent that in the Seaport area? Not the Melody. Melody tent is down the Cape.
Yeah.
What was the? You remember the tent? Harbor Lights? Is that
Harbor Lights? It was Harbor Lights at one point. It's been named like Great Woods. It's been named.
Yeah, Harbor Lights is what it was when we used to go, and I used to love to go see the shows. It was great.
Where's that?
Boston Harbor.
That's in
in the harbor.
The Seaport area.
The harbor.
The harbor. Now it's all
I let it slip.
one hotel after restaurant, hotel. But I remember Aretha Franklin. We went to see one of her shows.
Didn't see her.
And she was like 35, 40 minutes late.
Yeah, I heard she's not a nice lady.
She came across to me that way. Anyway, and then she finally gets up there, doesn't say a word about being late. And she cuts her show short.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, that soured me.
Yeah, I would think so.
I had an 8-track. I threw it out. I showed her.
What's an 8-track, Mike?
Yeah, what's an 8-track?
The other thing about that Orbison show, his band was so young.
Yeah, I wonder.
They had no idea about what he was in his prime.
I wonder. You've seen the black and white special that he was on TV.
Yeah.
If you look at the band that he's playing with, I mean, there's Bruce Springsteen back there. There's a bunch of well-known artists.
Elvis Costello, I think.
But
was there.
if you look at the actual rhythm band that's backing up Roy, drums, guitar, bass, keyboards, it's Elvis's band.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Ronnie Tutt on drums.
Oh, really?
James Burton on guitar.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Glenn Harding on bass.
Okay, so what's the extra challenge doing Roy? Because a lot held notes, I would imagine.
It is, but I think even Elvis called Roy his favorite singer. You know, but I think the challenge is just learning how to sing properly and knowing where to place your notes when you're doing it. And the misconception about Roy. Everybody used to think he was blind.
Yeah, I'm right.
People used to think the guy was blind because of his sunglasses. But do you know how he got those? How that came to be?
No. I'm sure you're going to enlighten. You ready, Lou?
I'm ready.
We're going to find out.
This is an amazing piece of trivia for you, for all you Roy Orbison fans. You probably know this, but maybe some of you don't. And, when Roy was getting started, he was on a tour opening up for a group called the Beatles. in England.
Heard of them?
You've heard of them.
Yeah, once or twice. And
how come Elvis didn't like them?
I don't think he didn't like them.
He didn't like their philosophy because they were super left and he was so conservative.
I don't know. I don't.
It was all about politics. I mean, him and Lennon just did not.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say anything for certain or not. But I think that there's a lot of mutual respect for each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
In regards to the music, entertainment, and whatnot, especially. And Elvis did cover some Beatles songs.
Yes.
Not my favorite version of Hey Jude. I'd rather listen to the Beatles version of it.
I get it.
No offense.
All right.
But
none taken.
And the Beatles were very heavily influenced on Elvis. I mean,
oh sure.
Even John Lennon used to say, before Elvis, there was nothing. Not that there wasn't anything, but in regards to Elvis achieved
there wasn't
something.
That hit structure.
Well, Elvis achieved a status that nobody else did as far as an entertainer at that time, where he was worldwide.
He could have been bigger.
I mean, yeah,
he could have been bigger. The Colonel couldn't leave the country.
And I wanted to push back against what you just said because I was thinking Frank, of course, but I can't. Elvis was bigger.
And I love Frank.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. But I mean, there again, I mean, even
Elvis
as far
had
as
that superstar aspect to him, and Frank was a singer.
Yeah, well, and
Elvis was a superstar.
The pop culture too,
Yeah.
Where you think about what Elvis's accomplishments were as far as being like the first person to have a worldwide satellite concert televised live.
That's right.
More people saw that concert than they watched the moon landing.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
And
but anyway,
when you think about it, I mean, look how many years he's been gone, and yet his estate last year took in $39 million.
That's insane. That's freaking nuts.
While he was telling about the renovations, while Rick was telling about the renovations, I'm thinking, is there another artist who has Graceland, the equivalent of Graceland? And they don't. It doesn't exist.
I think they were trying to do that with
Dolly Parton.
Oh, well, that's
no,
probably
that was commercialized, and all of Dolly Parton stuff is kind of commercialized. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but that was structured. It was supposed to be that way. Graceland just kind of evolved.
I think Neverland, Michael Jackson's thing, was supposed to be something in equivalent to it, but it never really got anywhere.
Derailed.
Yeah, big time. But you had asked me something. I forget now. It's like, no, it's okay. We just go on tangents.
There you go. We mentioned Dolly Parton, and she was quite a writer, besides being a fantastic singer. And one of her songs, and I'm trying to think of the title, and I'll look it up. They wanted Elvis to do it.
Oh, the big song.
Yeah.
I Will Always Love You.
Yeah. And that would have been huge for Elvis. But the Colonel insisted that they get 50% of the publishing rights.
Sure.
That killed it.
Yeah.
She refused.
And I don't blame her.
No.
But Whitney Houston, when she did
all right with it.
Whitney Houston did that song and she killed it. That was like #1 on the charts.
Then people forgot about Dolly's version of it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't anywhere near as good.
Well, I mean,
it was a whole different. Yeah.
Dolly's was more country.
Well, whenever there's covers, if the artist lends himself to it, I'm all fine with it. And you like some, you don't like some.
That's it.
Van Halen doing Pretty Woman.
Right.
It was fine because they did Van Halen.
Right.
You can talk about which one you like. I like both of them.
Oh, that was what we were talking about.
Yeah, covers.
No, Roy Orbison, the sunglasses.
Oh, the
How did he get the
sunglasses, that's right.
sunglasses?
Yeah.
Sorry, you just reminded me. Real quick.
I got a break.
Okay,
But
we'll do it
that's
after the break.
Can you hold on to it?
I'll hold on to
Louis,
it.
we're going to skip the Mikey again.
Professional radio tease. I like it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it after the break.
We're gonna skip that Mikey. Tell us more. We'll do it next week. I've been saying this for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Louis, take us out. We'll be right back. We're gonna hear about Roy. I like it.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-277-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler.
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work,
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at 4 Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back. Rick Anthony's sitting in the studio with us, and I know, ladies, he is a good-looking dude.
Easy, Mike. Easy.
Control yourself. Control yourself. You know, Elvis took a real bad fall, and it was in the house, and he banged his head, and he was actually unconscious for quite a while. I wonder if that led to some of the problems he had going forward, because nobody ever talks about it. Nobody even mentions it, but he was knocked unconscious, and he just refused to go to the hospital. And when you're unconscious because of the head trauma, man, if there's bleeding on the brain or something like that, it can your reaction as time went on, it could have multiplied. I always wondered about that in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I love the man. I love his music. I listen to it all the time. I mean, in my house, I got those Bose units popping.
Sure.
I mean, I just can't say enough good things. You know, and my partner, Tom Zapp, that wasn't his favorite artist.
Yeah, I remember talking with Tom.
And that's okay. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own.
Yeah, that's
What's
okay.
your go-to song, Mikey?
Huh?
What's your go-to song?
Yeah.
What's your go-to song? Which one?
The one that I can't help falling in love, I think, is probably
A lot of people. I
Rick?
think that's
Rick, which one do you use?
Oh man, that's like asking what's my favorite kid.
Yeah. Viva
It
Las
changes,
Vegas.
is it?
Yeah, Viva Las Vegas.
So we do a really. I'm not trying to give away anything about our show because I want people to come see it for themselves.
You're not going to the Dick Clark show?
No,
right.
no. But we do really we do something with Viva Las Vegas, and it's really fun for people.
Oh, he was. Let me tell you, in the day, boy, there was nobody bigger. Try to get tickets for those shows at the International. Now it's the Westgate, I believe.
It's like the Babe Ruth of rock. I mean, the first superstar.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I think his gospel stuff is underrated. His gospel
Oh, it's
music to
amazing.
me.
Oh,
let me tell you.
it's the only thing he won Grammys
Yeah,
for.
I know. He got nominated plenty of times.
Sure.
But the only thing he won was for gospel.
Right.
Just awesome.
Rick, what do you think of the 22 Elvis biopic?
I thought it was very well done artistically. I thought that the visuals were fantastic. Doing what I do and have been, I guess you could say, an Elvis researcher for as long as I have been. There's things that are in there that unless you knew your Elvis stuff, you would be like, oh my God, they did that. They did that in the background. Like, that's pretty impressive. I will say, I think Austin Butler did a fantastic job as Elvis, given what he was given. I don't know where the hell Tom Hanks's accent came from as the Colonel. That was weird.
Yeah.
But there was some artistic liberties as well in the film that the director obviously chose. I mean, there was no mention of Linda Thompson in there, Elvis's longtime girlfriend, or his last fiance, Ginger Alden.
Right.
It was all about Priscilla.
Yep. That's all anybody's interested in.
But are they really though?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So,
I don't know.
Good version, but dramatized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This new movie that's coming out next month.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know it's going to open, I believe, in IMAX first,
Yeah.
right?
You get tickets?
Not yet, but I definitely want to go see it.
I'm going the 20th over here at the Loop.
Okay. Yeah.
7:00.
They're there I think it's at the Loop for 5 days or 6 days.
Yeah.
That should be cool.
Yeah.
I want to see it too. I got to convince Barbara,
Bring Lou.
Huh?
Bring Lou.
me. Yeah.
You'd like it.
Yeah.
This guy works so much.
I'm sure.
I can't even get him to have a sandwich with me.
Dang.
I mean, it's crazy. If I was,
You got to have these catered then.
By the way,
Bring
on,
the sandwiches
on my
here.
other work, I work at a place where there's a bunch of playlists going on.
Do you?
And they have this playlist of modern artists redoing old songs.
Oh, cool.
Which mostly sucks.
Oh, okay. Not cool.
But somebody did a version of Viva Las Vegas that was really good. I don't even know who it was.
Ah.
Have you ever considered updating Elvis's catalog and doing?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question.
That's a good question.
When I first started kind of doing this,
perfectly skilled for it.
I kind of was thinking that, like, I don't want to, like, necessarily, because even when I go out, I go to Panera Bread and I have these punks over here at the other table. Hey, there goes Elvis. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. It's just, this is me. And I don't have a wig. This is me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But, you know, it was like, when I first started doing it, it was, oh, you know, maybe we could do this where we do the songs Elvis did, but for like a more modern kind of situation. But I don't know how it would go over. Yeah, I guess nobody would really know how it would go over, you know, and how can you perfect something that's already, in my opinion, perfect?
Yep.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Well, they come to you to see the standardized version. Or
Yeah.
something similar.
Yeah, for sure. Can I just tell this Roy Orbison story before we forget?
No, we're coming right to it.
We're back to the glass.
Back to the glass. Just because
We're
I
gonna get this
mentioned it.
done.
Okay, so what happened was Roy was on tour opening up for the Beatles, okay? And he had prescription glasses at the time. He left his freaking glasses on the plane.
Okay.
And the only thing he had with him was his prescription sunglasses. So he did the show with his sunglasses, and everybody thought that was the coolest thing, and that's how it started.
I thought he had bad eyes.
Nope.
Huh. Interesting.
So-
Interesting. Hey, listen, we talked about what you do, and I can tell everybody firsthand. Let me tell you, entertaining, unbelievable. Puts
Thank
on
you.
a hell of a show, gives it its all, and it's very well received. People are interested, like say a Brit, like say for instance, I'm going to turn 70, right?
Yeah.
What
For instance, right?
What are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing at nothing.
Say I'm going to turn 70 and I want to have you as my entertainer.
Sure.
You do things like that.
Yeah, I give senior discounts.
soundtrack discount
A senior discount.
70. Yeah.
$70 off. No, I'm sorry.
Okay. So you do that
He's
too.
going to change
So
the example of
I'll-
turning 80.
81. I can't believe it.
I give you 80 cents off. Just kidding.
Are you done?
I'm
No,
done.
let me
I'm
know.
done. This is your show.
No. Let me know if you're done. But anyway, people want to get in touch with you, like JJ Baroni. This guy, your show would be right up his boat. Let me tell you. He's a good person. He's a very successful businessman, and you know something.
Nice, very good.
You know, he's the kind of guy you want to talk to. Or Joe Farrow over at Tuscan Village, and
Yeah, for sure.
you know, we've got a few people we know.
Yeah, for sure. For
Oh,
sure. We're
yeah,
always
you can
willing.
Get in the casino when Joe rebuilds it up there.
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to do that. We call ourselves it's Rick Anthony and the King's Court is the name of the full
I was just gonna-
ensemble.
okay.
It started out, so what it is I call it the King's Court because it's a collaborative effort. We have 3 bands in one band, meaning there's the horn section, which is their own band.
Love it.
It's called the Blue Moon Brass.
Live horns.
Yeah.
So good.
I have a vocal group. They're called the Pure Gold Vocal Group.
So you have a backup group.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Huh.
And then my rhythm group, it's the Flaming Star Band. So the 3 of them together make up the King's Court.
Nice.
And
Flaming Star, Elvis.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
so
Good show band. I mean, I'm a rock guy. I love a good rock, classic rock type setup. But
yeah.
when you get the big show band with the horn section and background vocals,
Oh, you can get people.
it's so good.
it's amazing. It
Yeah.
really is. And so we try to say, we don't try. We pride ourselves on calling us the New England's Elvis Experience.
Wow.
Nice.
David Struffolino, who's another good friend that always listens to the show, he says, I definitely want to see him at the feast next year.
Love to be there. We
Yeah.
were there. I sang a song or two.
For Tony Pace.
Oh, that's right,
It
Tony.
was so hot.
What a guy.
The best.
Yeah. And his wife.
Nancy.
Fantastic.
Good people. Good people. It was so hot on that stage. First of all, afternoon
They
shows.
just picked you out of the crowd, say, go sing a couple songs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just walked over to him. I said, do me a favor. You sing a couple of songs. We had the track.
Sure.
And he got up there and he nailed it.
Yeah. And I think it was Can't Help Falling in Love.
Yeah.
Matter of
It
fact.
was.
Which is great. But you were saying if people wanted to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. look me up on
What's your
social media.
Okay.
Rick Anthony, Elvis Tribute Artist, Rick Anthony Entertainment. Interesting because there is also another Rick Anthony Elvis Tribute Artist in Chicago, Illinois.
I went to Google him. I Googled it.
Yeah.
And he came up.
Yeah,
That's
sure
not Ricky.
No. And it's so funny because I'll get phone calls from Chicago asking to book a show.
If it's a gig, take it.
Well, absolutely. And I said, I'd love to do it. This is what I charge, but I just, ask that you provide airfare and a hotel for me to stay at. Where are you from? I go, Boston. What? Yeah. So they thought it was, but anyway, I actually met the other Rick Anthony when I was out in Wisconsin for a performance. And he's a nice guy. So
I'm sure.
But anyway, so we're anyway.
How long do you think you can keep doing what you're doing right now? I mean,
that's an interesting question. You
want to put the sunglasses on?
No.
No?
It's kind of bright in here.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. I gave myself as a person because, Elvis died at 42 years old. You don't know what Elvis would have been like after, and why try to keep it going. But if I still have what I
can't
have,
see him as an old man.
He would be 91.
I know. There's
He
10 years
looked like an
different.
old man when he died.
He was born 1935.
He looked older than 42.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll keep going until I feel that I need to stop.
Hey,
Are
listen,
you enjoying it?
I love it.
Well, there
I
you
love
go.
it.
If it's working and you enjoy it, why do you need to
just
stop?
keep going? Just keep getting going. So then, I have a website
There are older
too.
guys than you out doing it.
It's true.
There you go.
And they're doing it. Some, they do really well, and some, I feel like there's a new generation which is coming out of these Elvises.
Yep.
Which is really good, and there are some really talented ones out
absolutely.
there.
Listen, I'm out of time.
All right, yeah, I know. I gotta
I
go.
know, you're running
I gotta
late.
fly.
Louis, always a pleasure, pal. Everybody,
Thank you, Lou.
be careful
love
this
having Rick here.
weekend. The weather's supposed to be a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
Next week, as we get older, everybody has pains. The doc is in town. The doc is going to be on with us, Dr. Marizito, and we're going to talk about some of the new treatments and what's going on in the medical field. So until then, adios, amigos.
Adios.